I want to show us a video, and this video is from Simon Sinek, guys. And here's the reason why I want you to see it. When we start talking about the new normal, I've heard a lot of people going, you know what, I can't wait for things to go back to normal. I can't wait to see what happens when we go back to normal, back to normal, back to normal. Guys, I'm telling you right now, the back to normal ship has sailed, okay? For all of us, hear me say this right now. And if you don't believe me, you may want to consider something different as a career. The back to normal ship has sailed. It's done. There is no going back to normal. And so we're going to have a conversation with that. But I love Simon Sinek's perspective in this video that I'm about to show you, because he began to look at all of it in holistic version, and he kept getting asked. His newest book is Infinite Game, right? And the idea behind Infinite Game is that we're so passionate about what we're doing that we will give everything in our exhaustion to be able to make sure that we can just outlast the enemy. We're not even trying to win, we're outlasting everybody. And so that's the kind of the idea behind the Infinite Game. Well, somebody said, well, in this new times of trial, what can we do to be able to get beyond this and be in the infinite game mindset? And he said that he began thinking, it's like, this isn't anything new. I think the challenge is that we keep looking at it as this is something new, and this isn't anything new. So I want to share this video with you guys, and then we're going to talk about it for a second, and then we're going to jump back into it. I want to welcome anybody who's actually piped into this. My name is Randy Olive. I'm the team leader of Keller Williams' office out here in Houston, Texas. I put out all of my classes just because I believe in giving back, and especially in this day and age, it's a giving economy, and we should be giving back. And so we have an office of about 230 agents that we service here in Houston, Texas. And so if you're piping in, today is our usual day for our team meetings. And so we've got people who'll be popping in from our office to be able to participate. I've invited others in the community of agents because I think it's great to be able to be together and have solidarity in this. And so I know that there's people from across the country tuning in. If you're a guest with us, thank you, welcome. I'm excited that you're here. And feel free to participate as much as you want as well. This is not just our game. This is our ability to share with everyone. So anyways, I hope everybody's doing awesome. And so again, I'm going to show you this clip of Simon Sinek, and I think it's awesome. So, okay. All right, guys. So this is Simon Sinek, and this is just him sharing a little bit about people calling these unprecedented times. Okay. So I'm going to blare the speakers, and I'm going to go into full screen so that you guys can capture this and then enjoy.
I just did a podcast interview with some folks in Australia, and they were pushing me very hard to try and explain how the infinite mindset helps in times like these. And I had a thought on that call that I wanted to share with everybody, which is these are not unprecedented times. There are many cases, lists of cases, where change or something unexpected has put many companies out of business and made other companies come out stronger and reinvent themselves. The invention of the internet put many, many companies out of business. The ones who could not reinvent their companies for the internet age, but rather double down on the old way they did business. Every video star is out of business because of streaming, and they couldn't reinvent themselves. When Starbucks moved into neighborhoods, many, many companies went out of business. Many coffee shops went out of business, not because of Starbucks, but because they refused to change the way they did business. They still had an old ripped up couch when you had a better product. Uber is putting taxi companies out of business, not because of Uber, it's because the taxis refuse to change. This is not unprecedented. The fact that something new and this more sudden, absolutely. More shocking, absolutely. Without a doubt. But this is not unprecedented in the business world. And so for us to say, not how do we do what we're doing, but rather, how will we do what we're doing in a different world? And the world is different. And the thing that I said on this interview was, it's the companies that have been investing in will and having an infinite mindset for a long time that will come out of this stronger, because they're prepared. Many of them were saving money. as opposed to giving out huge fat bonuses to everybody and spending all the money. And the will of the people is high to figure out a way through it. The ones that are struggling the most are the ones that spent all their money, saved nothing, appeased Wall Street, and the will of the people is low, that people are in survival mode rather than reinvention mode. It's the companies that with an infinite mindset that are in reinvention mode. It's the companies with a finite mindset that are in survival mode, regardless of how much money they have. It's the mindset. How are we going to get through this versus how are we going to change to get through this? So I feel so optimistic because we're thinking about the future. We're in a dark tunnel, but there's a light over there. I don't know how far away that light is, but I can see it. But we're in darkness now, but when we come out of there, we will have a better train. A different train. We will be a completely different business. Some of us will have different jobs by the time we get out of this. And that's our opportunity. The opportunity is what will we be, not how do we preserve what we had. That's an infinite mindset. And I'm so proud of this team because my attitude is this, not theoretically, but because I'm watching a team go through it right now. I'm watching people reinvent themselves. I'm watching people think about their jobs differently. I'm watching people think, how can I contribute in a new way? I'm watching people say, what could we be? How will we bring our message to people in a different way, in new ways? That will last forever, by the way, not just for now. So proud of you guys, love you guys. Because we are a living example of the stuff that I'm talking about out loud. I get to say, we are doing this. We're not allowing Uber to put us out of business. We're not allowing Starbucks to put us out of business. We're not allowing the internet to put us out of business. We'll reinvent ourselves. This is not unprecedented. This has happened many, many, many times in business. This one's just a little more sudden.
By different jobs, you don't mean different jobs out of this company, but reinvent yourself within this company.
That is the opportunity. So I know a company, it's a fine dining restaurant in New York City. He's figured out a way to become a delivery company. All of his people have kept their jobs because they have different jobs now. But if you think you're going to do the same job and you're waiting, like if you're a public speaker who was waiting for this to get through so you can go stand on a stage, I got some bad news. That ship has sailed. We have to be a normal company now where we have to market ourselves and develop product. This is a huge wake-up call for us. We had the luxury of being lazy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. There was no reason to reinvent when we're drinking from a fire hose. But now the opportunity is magical. I'm thinking, how do I put myself out there without a stage? This is entirely new for me as well. This is entirely new for me. But I'm not worried about what I do. I'm worried about why I do it. And I will find a job that helps me do that. I'll make a job that helps me do that. And I expect the same of everyone. And here's the best thing, you don't have to do it alone. We've got each other's backs, we'll help each other. Some of it'll be easy, some of it'll be unbelievably difficult. This is a very, very magical team. We're streamlined. Good? All right, I gotta go to the doctor.
Thank you, Simon.
All right, I love you guys.
Wash your hands.
I'm more worried about the doctor. Bye.
Love it. What'd you guys think? You're welcome to unmute yourself. You can put notes in the notes section, but I'd love to hear, like, what do you guys think? I want to hear what you guys think. Here's a link to the video. What do you guys think?
Okay, one of my favorite things that he said was, what will we be on the other side of this, not how do we preserve what we have?
Oh my gosh.
That is a major mindset difference there.
So what he says in Start With Why in the introduction, and I shared this with the people who are in that book club, he talks about in that, like, we look at things as a course of action instead of a cause. That we should start with a cause and the course of action will unveil itself. You know, so it's that same, gosh, it's that brainwave of starting with why, man. What else? I love that. Thank you, Melanie. What else, guys? I want to hear from 2 other people. I'm going to wait. I'm okay with that.
I like the thought of him thinking of it, it's an opportunity. It's not necessarily something negative.
I like it. I like it. Yes, it is opportunity. And I wrote that behind me. I want to get to having the conversation about some of these things. What else, guys? One more. Savannah, my favorite.
This together.
I like together. I heard together. Yeah, together. Savannah said, loved it. My favorite thing he said was, I'm not worried about how I do it. I care about why I do it, and I figure out how to create a job to carry out the why. Sorry, just read it. You can click on the comments and read it. Randy is not that great of a reader. All right, guys. Speaking of not being that great of a reader, in case you're curious, this is still relevant. In this book, one of the things that I was really interested in going through the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and talking about the new norm is that there's not a ton of things that are actually new, right? In the aspect that we think that things are new. I still have to market myself. Marketing doesn't go away. The way in which I market myself has changed. Showing homes doesn't go away. The way I show homes goes away. Being a real estate agent that is 99% physical presence changes, right? Everything that we're doing, there's not anything new in the sense that we're going to redefine an industry. Now, I think there's a chance to redefine a lot of things within our industry, but don't hear me say that the standard is not a standard, okay? There's a reason why cliches are cliches, because there's some sort of truth that lines into that feel infamous, right? And so when I look at what's happening in our business, one of the things that I love that he's saying right now, the companies that thought that had will, those with will, that thought with will in the very beginning, they're not afraid right now. They may have a healthy respect for what's happening. They may have a very clear vision of like, okay, this could change and it could change fast, and it has. But I love that mindset, and I want to be able to give a little bit of a kudos to our family, okay, guys? So if you're a guest with us, by all means, celebrate, and you can golf clap in the background. But I want to celebrate our agents and what we've done, guys. I want to celebrate you, because when I look at this, y'all have been underneath leadership and leadership by agents, and this is me giving David and Ann some kudos, especially David. David has walked through our budget longer than I've been present with you guys, and so David gets all the credit. When you look at what we've done with our budget, we have not frivolously spent money. And so now we're not stressed out about some of the bills that we have, some of the things. The only thing that we're worried about is our rent, our lease space, and we're doing what we can to make sure that we can fight through that, okay? But yet we don't have a staff of 29 people that now we're worried about even just keeping people around. We have a very specific leadership group that is very tuned into what's happening, so that then we can execute at a high level and have been doing that. And now we are a market center that's setting the pace for what people should have been doing from the very get-go. We don't have fear because David's done a great job of protecting our budget from the get-go. Our financial planning committees, y'all have been doing this for years, making sure that we're doing the things the right way and not overcommitting ourselves in any way, okay? Now, that's not to say that there could not be challenges, guys. The reality is I want all of you. The reason why I wanted to talk about budget from the very beginning at the onset of this conversation is that you should be cutting your expenses expecting that the bottom falls out, because what happens if the bottom doesn't fall out? You lose nothing. But if you don't change right now and the bottom does fall out, you have the potential to lose everything, okay? Sacrifices. So anyways, I'm off my soapbox for a minute. Budget, you look at our focus. What our focus has been is, to be honest with you, has been a challenge to an extent, because I fight against the idea of, in black and white, a market center should do these things. Well, I look at it from just a different perspective, and I always have. And that's not necessarily a perspective that I want to change the way things are being done. It's that I want to double down on a both-and conversation. And so what's been really phenomenal, and I'm tooting my own horn for a second so that then I can pass the buck over to our leadership. But my focus has always been, how can we have a both-and conversation, that we do need to grow our market center, and we do need to be able to invest in our people. And that's a both and conversation. That's not a we do one thing or the other. It's no, from a leadership standpoint, we do both and. And so we've already always been looking at ways in which we can do and move things forward. Talk about being tech forward. There are market centers and brokerages right now that are scrambling to figure out how they can just cram technology into their world for their agents. We've been doing this for a year and a half. We've been doing this for almost 2 years, actually, if you really write it out. For almost 2 years now, we've been focused on making sure every single one of us understand our technology with Command and Kelly. And now we've got all of those pieces lined up. We even were able to make sure and get one of the guys in our space was able to be promoted to a world of tech trainer. Now let's give him credit where credit is due. He invested in himself to get to that space. And yet he had a space to which he could do that. We have been tech focused. And so we're not worried about what's happening now. We don't have to think about what do we do next, because we've already been doing it. While everyone else is scrambling for survival mode, we've been in thrive mode before this even happened. You know, it's really interesting about that, talking about before any of this even happens. I was so focused on making sure this training guideline was just knocked out of the park. We had already had things in place to start moving forward in doing what I'm doing right now, what David's doing, what Anna's doing. The way that we were able to start teaching classes online like that and to have all of us connected to it, because we were already doing it. This isn't anything new for you guys. And so I want to say kudos to you guys, right? I want to give you I want to give you the credit where the credit is due, because this is all about to translate, right? You can tell everything I do is very dramatic. We're leading up to a crescendo, and we're going to dig into our businesses here in a second, okay? And so when you look at this tech forward, what is a team leader? I thought it was weird that we defined team leader the way we did. I think team leader is a weird conversation to have. I want to find a way in which people would rather look at me as a team servant than they would a team leader. I began to do everything that I could to understand mission, vision, values out of every single one of our agents, so that then I could serve everybody's businesses. And if I'm serving everybody's businesses, then guess what our leadership is doing? We're serving everybody's businesses. And if our leadership is serving the businesses of our agents, then our agents are having their life by design instead of being told what to do. And so right now, in a time when everybody has said, the world is falling apart, our agents are going, no, it's actually not. I can still do everything that I'm doing because I've always been doing it for all of the right reasons. I've been dug into my why. This is not a new concept to me. And so you guys are thriving right now while a lot of agents are actually starting to get nervous. And I've seen and I've listened to the fear in a lot of agents' world. You know, and the reality is I'm watching some of the companies, and forgive me if you're part of one of these companies, but I've watched Coldwell Banker, I've watched Better Homes and Gardens, and I've watched Remax, some of the offices for Remax, and then some of the other small independent brokerages tell every single one of their agents, you are being told from me as a leader to stop doing business. I think that's tragic. We're going to be helpers in a time when people are going to need professional help. That doesn't necessarily mean that we have to stop. It does mean that we have to be leaders in the prevention of this disease spreading. And I'm going to ask you guys to make sure that you're adhering to that. I'm going to ask you, if you don't have to go out, don't go out. Every single one of you, and we're going to talk about this, right? Great segue, Randy. What does the new norm of business look like? It's not face-to-face. You don't have to do business face-to-face, okay? What is leadership? What is culture? Culture was one of our biggest pieces to the puzzle. Training, opportunity. Talk about opportunity. I love that one of you guys mentioned this. I think, was it Sarah? Sarah went out with opportunity maybe? Or maybe it was Melanie. It was one of the mad folks. If I'm looking at opportunity, dude, right now, I don't lose my job. I get to redefine my job. Right now, I don't get to lose momentum. I get to redefine momentum. Right now, I get to see everything as an opportunity instead of everything as a default or being cast upon us, right? Because that's what's happening right now. We don't have the ability to tell anybody what they can do. We are being told what to do. And that's okay. I think we should. I think it's great that our leaders go, hey, we got the smartest people in the rooms. Some of them aren't so smart, but apparently they know something. And they said the best thing that you can do is to stay at home unless you're essential. So stay at home. Well, that forced us, right? That pushed us into a space to be creative. And I love that. Sorry, I've been talking a lot if you haven't noticed. And so now we are in a space that's poised as a market center to probably last a lot longer than most brokerages will. It's going to happen, guys. This is going to happen. It's there. Like, let's not pretend that it's not. My hope is that when it gets into this space, that you guys are with us and have done enough to make sure you're there, because what we're doing from a market center standpoint is everything within our will to make sure that that moment right there, we keep our doors open, we keep our agents thriving, and we make sure that we're meeting you at your need. So everything's changing, guys, our new normal. And I want you to hear that, and I want you to feel that. If you have not yet anticipated this conversation, today's your day. We're going to talk about things changing, because right now everything has changed. Okay? And as everything is changing, this is our new normal. Today is our new normal. So those of you who are looking and ready for things to go back to where you can go, man, I'm just ready to go back to having a face-to-face conversation with somebody. I want to ask you why. Why do you want to go back to a way when we've just unveiled the ability to do things virtually and have the same effect? And now consumers who would more than likely fight against our shift, right? If we were doing this without coronavirus, we would be looked at a little strange that we don't want to meet face to face. And yet, because we're all being forced to stay in place, consumers are willing to have that Zoom conversation, whereas before they weren't. So why would we ever go back to a space when everybody's ready to move forward? That only perpetuates our ability to lose the business in the long run, okay? Video is a big deal, and I'm gonna go into this virtual reality side of things. Here's what's interesting. I want you to think about all of you guys who have gone and sat in a listing presentation. You've gone and sat in a listing presentation. How many hours did you spend traveling to that listing presentation? Let's say 20 minutes to, in Houston, you could travel 1.5 hours to get to your listing presentation. So now you're at that listing presentation. Well, this is also drive time home. So during that listing presentation, at some point, we've got to be able to get people coordinated to go over. And we think we got to be there when they're coordinated. So we drive over to this house to be able to get the phone, or to get these vendors set up to be able to do their thing. Well, we haven't been. Right? I think you see where I'm going with this. So your desire to go back to a normal face-to-face, you've just been given the gift. If every contract takes 50 hours to complete, from start to finish, from prospecting to close, if it takes about 50 hours, I'm gaining back time to do more for me and for my business. Because here's the deal. I'm either going to get this time back for my family, for my sleep, or for my business. So why do you want things to go back to change? If you have not yet adopted and or embraced virtual reality through Zoom, through Google Meet, or any of those things, and you're waiting to go back to the conversations face to face, if you're waiting to go back, you've lost. I'm not being rude. I promise you, I'm not being rude. But you've lost. Maybe not in the short term, but in the long term, you've lost. I'm just telling you. This is me being as blunt as I can with the opportunity that is on our doorstep. We used to spend 90% of our time needing to be face to face, and now we can get that done in 50% of the time face to face. Why would we ever go back? The world is now looking at us going, yeah, I'm on board. Let's go. What you are a professional. What do you say we should do? Okay. Virtual reality. You've got to be able to start doing this, and that's conferencing and consultation. Okay. Video. All of you people who hate video, I hate to tell you this, video is absolutely necessary. In the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I would dare you to go in and find and look at the lead generation section. And in Gary, when he defines what he's looking at as, and this actually may be in the Shift book. So it may not be in Millionaire Real Estate Agent, it may be in the Shift book. And yet this is what he says about lead generation. It is marketing-based, prospecting enhanced. Marketing-based and prospecting enhanced. Video is a data building marketing tool that we have to be able to use. And if you think that you can't do it, I'm gonna beg to differ, because I've got Anna Banana, who is, she's got an Apple Watch, she's got an iPad, she's got a computer, she's got her video camera, she's got a light in her office, she's Zooming her meeting, she's presenting from Zoom, she's putting content online, she's videoing herself and doing everything. And so if you think you can't, I beg to differ. I think you can. And now is the time to choose can, okay? We can choose can, and we can also choose can't. So if you think you can't, you're also right. And I believe that you can. I know that you can. It just takes a matter of getting used to it. And what we want to be able to do is produce this beautiful stuff. And I hate to tell you this, it doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to be there. Amber Elliott, who was on recently with us, said that more people actually engage in B-level production stuff, as in like personal, like camera phone type of stuff. They look and they consume and they engage with that more than they do professional content. So they want to see your janky film anyways, right? Video, if you have not embraced these, this is the new norm. If you need to learn skills, these are the skills you need to be learning. Video, you need to understand video. Well, I just don't understand. That's a moot point now. You have to do video. Watch YouTube. There's a ton of YouTubes. Like, there's a ton of people. I made a video. I suck at video, and I made a video about doing video. You can do video, okay? Video is a big piece of the deal. Virtual showings, okay? We, as an office, are looking at options, and obviously we have an option. We've just got a time issue on that. But I'm actually slightly offended. I shouldn't be, but I'm slightly offended in the fact that I MacGyvered together a situation, and I'm not going to share it necessarily with the world, but I am sharing it with our agents specifically. But I've MacGyvered a situation to which you could literally do a virtual tour for any and all of your homes that look incredibly professional, utilizing three tools, three things that you 100% have on your being right now. And so if you're curious about that, go into our Facebook forum and look where I talked about doing virtual tours. I did a video to show you guys how you can take a virtual tour and get every single one of your listings into a virtual tour space. It looks really cool and actually a little bit different than the way everybody else is doing it. So it's not white noise. It actually looks different. It's more engaging. Ask Sarah.
And I wanted to add, I used that tool.
Yeah. And
I had a listing appointment.
Yeah.
That it was open houses were very important to them, and we can't do those right now.
Right.
So I used that tool that you came up with, and it made a world of difference.
Yeah. And sorry if you're a guest with us. There are things that I'm doing specifically for our market center because I want to engage in our agents. I hope your market centers are doing the same thing for you guys. Your brokerages are doing the same thing. And if they're not, put pressure on your leadership to do that. But I don't want to share all of our stuff, unfortunately, because I do believe that there are some things that we want to continue to be edging out and gaining market share. So nothing against you. I think you're probably awesome. However, I want to make sure and take care of my home plate first. I mean, that's just how it is. I'm going to fight for my people. Okay. Virtual showings. Now, web and social media, guys, like this is a big deal. Web and social media. This is new norm. If you are not on Facebook, you need to be on Facebook. If you're not posting on Facebook, you need to be posting on Facebook. If you don't have a business page set up on your Facebook, you need to set up a business page on your Facebook. If you're not engaging in content on Facebook, you need to be engaging in content on Facebook. If you don't have a marketing tool through Instagram, you need to be having a marketing tool through Instagram. If you don't know how to use Facebook or Instagram, you need to be looking at and taking classes on how to use Facebook and Instagram. If you know how to do marketing and advertising in Facebook, you need to be doing marketing and advertising in Facebook. Everything that we're doing right now, social and web is a big deal. We have been doing this for a while. I've already taken, when I landed, I wanted to get everything that we did, including our own stinking brochure for our office is all online. info.kwhouston.com. I did that before this. And so everything that we're doing right now is just us continuing to push forward. And now everybody has been forced to do the envelope. Now, what I love about what's happening right now is not that the rest of real estate has to do things the way that we've already talked about and already been doing it. It's that it's forcing the consumer to believe in the way that we're doing things. I want you to hear that. This is pushing the consumer to do things the way we need to do this. This is forcing the consumer to experience things the way that we have already been doing it. It is for the consumer, for them to be able to gain their power back. Guys, this is our moment. I've said from the very get-go, the reason why we're involved in technology is that what we can do is give the consumer back their power so then we can focus on building the relationship. This is what we have been gifted. And I don't want to use that in a very nonchalant way, saying that the disease that's being spread is just a gift. That's not true. That's not what I'm saying. What we've been gifted with is the opportunity to capitalize on the fact that we've been all forced into one bucket. And in this one bucket, we are all okay with virtual consumption, being like just diving into Facebook, diving into live, diving into these video scenes, people forced to be able to experience things through video, through voyeuristically looking at things. Everything that we are doing is not necessarily even about everybody else catching on and doing it the way that we think it should be done. It's more along the lines that the consumer, who is our end game for relationship, is our consumer, that they are now forced to consume in the same way that we've been trying to present ourselves. That's the win, guys. That's the win. That's why the new norm is not going back. We have been gifted with the opportunity to move forward. And the opportunity to move forward is changing, revolutionizing. I keep saying it from the very beginning. I truly believe, and I know I sound chaotic, I believe that I can change the world through real estate. And think about why I think I can change the world through real estate. Real estate agents have they're entrepreneurs, right? So that entrepreneur mindset is creative. And if we create a thought process of the ability to change the world, awesome. And I think the real estate agents are more in tune to be able to jump onto that board, right? Number two, when we are able to get you guys in the space of creating wealth, and now you have wealth to which you can use as a tool to give back to the world, now you can give out of your abundance. Man, now what better space than to have real estate agents combined efforts to be able to give back from their abundance. We're in the giving economy right now. I'm really excited about what's to happen. And so now we've got these two moments, these two moments just crashing into each other. I think that we can change the world through real estate. I know it sounds nuts, but I believe that that is a great space to be a catalyst, okay? Soapboxes all day long, and I apologize for that. Y'all are awesome for it, okay? So now here we go. Web, we got the web and social media. If you haven't set up your web page, guys, if you're on KW, if you're a KW agent, you automatically have a web page. Set it up. Set it up to the left, y'all. Set it up to the right, y'all. Set it up. Let's actually set it off. Yeah, I'm adapting it for humor's sake, okay? All of you 80s babies know what I'm talking about, okay? Again, kind of going back to this idea of marketing. We are in a marketing world. If the only thing that you're doing is prospecting, I'm not saying that's not a wrong thing. That's a great thing. It is a great thing to prospect. But our lead generation needs to be marketing based, and it needs to be prospecting enhanced. What are you doing to market yourself? You need to be taking marketing classes. Skip all these virtual classes. You can go to those later, and you can look at people later. You can actually look and dig into our content that we've already created for you guys. Skip all those how to do virtual classes. Go start learning how to market yourself. Read marketing books. Donald Miller, Story Brand, just created another book that's about marketing. It's just about simplifying the marketing process. Go market yourself. You got to find out how to market yourself. Marketing is the new norm. If you haven't jumped into marketing, and here's the deal, guys, y'all might have missed the boat on this anyways. Buying houses as a buying agent, that is about showing houses. A listing agent, listing is about marketing homes. Now, as we take a step back and we look at it, the brand is no longer the brand. The brand is now me. So I got to learn how to market myself. You got to understand marketing. Guys, you got to understand marketing. Guys, you got to understand marketing. Okay? Sweet. Marketing. Marketing-based prospecting enhanced. Okay? Personal and creative. Personal and creative, guys. What we're doing right now, the new norm is personal and creative. Okay? The new norm is personal and creative. Think about everything that you're doing right now, man. I'm loving all of the care calls. You know what I did in lead generation when I would just meet with my sphere? You know, it was so interesting how many times I've taught the class on dealing with my sphere, how I was able to engage my sphere and close 20 to 30 deals every single year when I was in production. You know what I did? I made care calls. I didn't make prospecting calls. I made care calls to my people. It's interesting right now. We've all been forced into the same bucket to go, you know what? It's not probably a good time to call and say, hey, you know, somebody's looking to buy or sell real estate. Instead, we're calling and saying, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Guess what's happening? Yeah, I'm okay. How are you? I'm doing good, actually. Thank you for asking. Y'all need anything? I don't, man. But gosh, I'm telling you right now, I'm watching all this and I'm really interested in what real estate is going to do. Tell me more. Yeah, man. Well, tell me your opinion. What's happening right now with real estate? The doors are being opened like that into real estate conversation when all I did was say, hey, how are you? People are dying to listen to the words of a professional, have a conversation with them. And even if they're not, you calling and letting them hear your voice is more important than anything else. And when they continue to hear that voice, guys, gosh, think about, we are in a relationship business. So what you've essentially done is created a relationship, by the way. So you pick up the phone and make phone calls. Care. Personal and creative. Personal and creative. All the creative touches need to be happening right now. All of the creative touches. Have fun with this. Man, have fun with this. I'm going to shave, or not shave, I'm going to cut my hair on live television, live Facebook, just for stinking fun. I got nothing to lose. I think it'll be fun. People might laugh at it. They might not. My hairstylist won't laugh at it. I want to give a shout out actually to Holly right now. So Holly in our office, I love what she did. She went through and she thought, man, kids. And she thought, man, who is out of business right now? Well, parties are out of business right now. So she's hiring people who usually get paid to dress up in costume to go to these parties. Instead, she's having them dress up like Disney characters and superhero characters to read stories to kids. How fabulous is this? Holly Kidwell, who's in our office, I encourage you guys, if she sent you a request to join that group, go join that group, watch it. It is just a joy to see like kids just piping in going, oh, Elsa! Creative, super creative, and it's giving back. Personal and creative. Personal and creative. All right, guys, app-based transactions. I'm hoping y'all writing this stuff down. I'm hoping you're not sitting there like going, oh yeah, he's right. Yeah, that's it. Because this all needs to go into action today. By the way, this all needs to go into action today. Okay? Crystal, I just saw that Ann left. If you need to go help her get set up for the class, I would gladly welcome that so that she feels good and she's got taken care of. So, little side note for Miss Crystal. Okay? Personal and creative. Guys, last couple here. App-based transactions. Y'all think app-based transactions is just how you get the closing document signed. That's not an app-based transaction. I'm looking at KW Command being an app-based transaction. I can take you from start to finish into KW Command through opportunities, making sure all the documents are signed and all that good stuff. So contract, done. That's one element. How are you going to exchange earnest money? Okay. Savannah probably give you a great example of how you might be able to exchange earnest money. How are you going to exchange option fee? Well, all of you people who have said, there's no way I'm going to use Zelle or PayPal or Venmo or any of those other apps where we can transfer money via our phone, Apple Pay, guess what? You're going to be left behind. Now is the moment. Now more time than any. Why can't we transfer money the way that people do business? People are doing business by app already. JB Barnett, who I love, and he's not getting a shout out because this isn't live anywhere. I got an app for that thing. JB Barnett playing his little guitar for Coronapalooza, entertaining the freaking world. He's got his little Venmo thing typed up there. I've tipped him probably about 20 or 30 bucks since he started doing that. He's been doing it for like 12 days now, a live concert every single day. I love it. I'm just putting it in the background when we're getting the kids ready for bed. Guys, some random dude playing a guitar is better at being convenient for his clients than we are. A random guy playing a guitar, entertaining people, is being more professional than we are. Just throwing that out there. I'm being a little bit brash just to kind of get you kicked into a mind process, right? I'll never use Venmo. I'll never use Zelle. I'll never say never. Now's the time. Now is the time. I actually don't pay. The only person that I pay by check anymore, everything else is 100% digital between my bank, Zelle, Venmo, or PayPal. Everything else is done through, the only person I write a check to is the person who helps me with keeping my home in line. And I need to get away from that. I hate writing checks. The other day I ran out of checks. That's the worst, by the way. Okay, I'm gonna draw this line over here because I ran out of room. CRM with AI. CRM with AI. CRM, customer relation management. Ours is called Command. You should use it if you're a KW agent, because guess what? We built it with artificial intelligence to do everything, to scrub everything, to be able to look at the best practices. How awesome is it for you to be able to understand what's happening right now, because we have historical data that is going back into 2008 and beyond, going, okay, so what we watched as trends were A, B, and C, and these trends are starting to pop up again right here, right now. What's the difference when I'm looking at my business and I look at it and all of a sudden artificial intelligence has mined my database that I'm keeping in tune with, and it said, hey, every 7 years people seem to be moving. This little area right here seems to be a hotspot right now. We've saw 12 homes go on the market and go off the market in 3 days. You've got 5 people in your database that are living in that market. You might want to send them a message. Sounds crazy, and it's true. How awesome would it be for you to be able to have data, artificial intelligence, scrub your data, my database, and goes, hey, I just looked at all the trends for Cypress, and in this little vicinity, everybody who lives there right now, it has spiked for homes going on the market, and they're going on the market and off the market in 30 days for 98% of the sales value. I would call every single one of my people that lived in that area. But I don't know that information. If I don't have a CRM that's mining my information with artificial intelligence, guys, you've got to start teaming these up. If you are not in our world, one, I think you should be. Just kidding. But seriously, go find somebody who's going to help you understand your CRM, your customer relationship management tool with artificial intelligence. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to go fast because we're at our time. The last thing, the very last thing, the new norm. It's all about give and take. And what I mean by that, counterbalance. Everything, your new norm is about give and take. It's about counterbalance. It's about making sure that what we're learning right now about our families stays put. Okay? Save the best for last, right? What we're learning about our families right now stays put. The meals we're having around the table because we're being forced to, it's a sad moment, right? I want you to hear me say that. It's a sad moment that we have been in a society to where the first time that we are being consistently sitting down with our family to dinner is when we've been forced to sit down with our family to dinner. Therefore, the first time when we play games with each other, because we've been forced to do that. Okay, so I want y'all to think about that. I want that to sting just a hair. Counterbalance is the new norm. We don't lose what we've gained in this moment. We've learned to live again. We've learned to love again. We've learned to give again. In case you're curious, that is a Foo Fighters song, Times Like These. I want you guys to understand that the biggest thing that is our new norm is this give and take moment, this counterbalance. It's our time to not lose the most important thing. We all used to say that family is more important than our businesses, but we acted a lot different than that. This is the time. Now is the time for us to look at this and live it out every single day because what we gained in the new norm allowed us that space. How many of y'all want to go back to using a fax machine for business, or a printer, the feed printer, like ding, ding, ding? I don't want to do that. I want to keep moving forward. The way we move forward is to understand there's no way we're going back. We got to redefine our jobs. We get to reframe our jobs. We get to be able to see where the opportunity is. You are in a market center that is forward thinking because you've got leaders who are forward thinking. I'm grateful to be in business with the 8 people who are helping us lead forward. I'm incredibly grateful for our ALC and the way that they think and the way that they help us lead. I'm grateful for our top 20% who are looking at and understanding, how do I reach back down into our world and help people come with us? I'm grateful for our productivity coach who is looking at every single agent who just jumped into the business at one of the weirdest times you could ever do. And she's looking at them saying that, no, hope is there and it is possible. Let's get into this game together. See, when I put Better Together on the wall in 2017, when I took over as team leader, it wasn't lip service. And it's coming to fruition right now, because what we are 100% is better together. And I want you guys to hear that, to know that, to see that, to feel that. And I want you to know that we're going to make it through, and we're going to do it together. And on the other side of this, we get to help the rest of the world recover as well. Let's change the world, because what we're looking at is not how do we go back to normal. It's how do we go forward into the new normal. Today is the day that defines us. April 1st, remember that. April 1st. I know everything changed in March, but the changing of the guard in April, it felt different. And now it's our new norm. But go forward, pull your swords, guys. Let's go fight the good fight. If you don't know what these things are, today's the day, okay? There's a lot of vendor partners out there that would help us, and they'd be tremendous to help us. I've seen a couple people pipe in, so I want to give credit in that space. And so let me scroll through here. Scroll that beautiful bean footage. Savannah out there. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you've never been able to get into a conversation with Savannah at Celebrity Mortgage, she is one of the most caring people, in the sense that she learned real fast what value meant to agents, and she's in and about your business. She 100% can help connect you to any one of these things to help you get where you're going. I've watched Corey. I saw Corey in here. So those of you who don't know, Corey is actually Savannah's husband, and yet I'm separating them in this space, because like looking at what looking at what Corey's done, Corey looked at something really cool. We don't have anything in-house to be able to help people get their clients connected to utility switchover. And so we just tell them like, hey, well, just call your companies and make sure everything. Well, Corey has an opportunity. He does kind of a utility concierge. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Why don't we do this for our agents so that they have something like this for our clients? And he was like, oh, okay. Which, if you've met Corey, that's a great impression of him, because he's a big, huge lug. Love him. But now he's created a business. Like, okay, I want you to hear this. He has stepped out and created a business. He's created a business to help you guys move forward with your business. That's nuts. He stepped out and created a new business so that you guys can do something differently. So if you look at all this and you go to your client and you say, hey, oh, by the way, I know that you're worried about all your utilities. Don't. I've already got somebody who helps set up your utilities, your phone, all of your stuff that you got going on. I've got somebody who can handle that for you, so that can be a back burner thing for you, and you can focus on loving on your family and moving. I know you're under stress. He's going to take care of it. Started a business for you guys. He literally took me to lunch and said, hey, man, is this something? I'm like, yeah, that's something. That's something significant that we don't have for our clients, for our agents, for our people, our customers. And so he started a business for you guys. So when I look at us and I look at what's happening and I look at the new norm, embrace our vendor partners, because they are with us and they think this way. Leverage yourself into them. I promise you, they're dying to help you out, dying to help you out in these spaces. If you're curious about what Corey's doing, I hope everybody blows him up like crazy today. Like, get in the forum, you're like, hey, Randy said this. What does this mean, bro? Let's hear your little thing. Let's do this thing. Looking at what Savannah does. Gosh, looking at what Allison does. She created a book club so that we could get connected to understanding our why. Look at what Kelly did, coming on just to help us understand what's going on in the market. Kim Dawkins shows up we can't get away from her. Gosh, I'm forgetting her name. I'm getting too old for this to not, crap. She's about to teach a class today. about YouTube. Like they are coming back into our spaces to give back to us. We are better together. Let that be an inspiration to you guys. Let that be something that you do. I've got to let us go because we need to go get into Anne's class because she is fabulous and still bringing the funk and bringing the noise with her classes. Again, don't feel like you can't do video because Anne is doing video and presentations and all that good stuff. And I love you all very dearly, and I want you to survive and I want you to thrive, and we're going to do this together. Do not ride this ship down alone. If you feel like you are going underwater, please call any and every one of us. You're probably going to hear from us anyways. This is our moment to be together. New norm. We're the new norm. Peter Guns. I'm just kidding. I'm not that strong.